young people or a political pressure group to support a political party or to support a political candidate. And that is actually the problem. So the problem is the young people needs to look for information. And like I said, information itself is coming to them right now. And we have to thank God for social media, for the adventure to social media, the technology. It's actually giving the young people a lot of information. Like even the constitution we are talking about, you don't need to have it on the document.
Office to be a leader.
Well, I mean, look at my own knowledge. Leadership itself, it's not a noun. Leadership is a verb. Leadership is doing things. Leadership is showing things. And like a leader of mine used to say, someone I believe so much, that leaders must know the way, then lead the way, of course, and then show the way. So leadership, the straight answer to that is that all of us cannot be politicians, to be political leaders. But in every way we are, in every part of life that we have, we should leadership. Leadership is in what you are doing. Some people will say leadership simply means leading. So if you are not leading, if you are not showing an example, you are not leading anyone, you're just taking a walk. So leadership, it means that leadership simply means showing something for others to see and follow. By my understanding. So when you talk about young people leading, a lot of young people have provided leadership for the world. So if you look at different parts of the world, a lot of young people, and if you go into, there are certain sectors in Nigeria today that are actually, if not absolutely run by young people are providing leadership in those sectors. And I will tell you.
So that brings me to, that brings me to not too young to run bill.
Yes.
Are you in support of that bill, not too young to run? Because from your definition, we do not really need that bill for not too young, because we're already running in other sectors. So what's your take on that bill?
Well, the bill is not bad, let me say. It's only, I wouldn't want young people to, concentrate our attention only on the bill. The bill is one thing that is needed, because if I said I'm not within the age that the not too young to run bill is trying to address, just like I mentioned, obviously I'm more than 30 years. So right now I can contest for House of Reps. So I don't need the not too young to run bill to come to 25 years before I can run. But there are some people who are of course falling in that range. So to fairness to them, you have to accept that the bill is not out of place. What I'm saying is that we must not, as young people, concentrate all our.
Or must we look at youth organization and say like pressure group, like political pressure, like let's say youth forum in a police. Must we look at those? Can't we see other youth operation or youth firms that have been run by youth and pick leadership from those places? Must it be on the political?
Well, when you mention that, what we're expecting is that when we have a government in place, the government will look into different sectors where young people are doing well and pick them to be part of the governance structure. Why saying that? We must look into young people who are, of course, in the civil society, because it is in the civil society that democratic governance are also being practiced. For example, in the National Youth Council of Nigeria, you must emerge as a president by election. Same thing in the lands. Why we agree that there are some challenges we are still facing in those organizations, it is only those organizations you see active politics at the youth level. So if you want to be a politician, you must start learning it. So if we now shift away from those organizations, we now go into political parties. This is another place where politics are being played. So if you must emerge as a governor of a state by election, you must first of all understand the intrigues in politics, the system, the strategies in politics. In fact, you must be involved in politics itself. In fact, political party, you must be a member, a non-member of the political party. So if you are saying assessing young people leadership, I agree with you. There are young people doing well in different sectors. Agree. But in politics, the young people who wants to be those governor, ministers, even senators, House of Rep members must be part of political party, because political party form a government, then the government formed by political party extend the government into appointment. So it will be difficult. Why I agreed that there could be appointments from other sectors where young people are doing well, the large chunk of appointment are actually done, from the people who are participating.
In the political structure,
exactly,
from XUG shift. And most other politicians are saying, and I would like you to respond to this, other politicians are saying the youth are not ready. Because, in my opinion, they are looking at the ones that are following this structure.
Yeah.
So, how do we solve this? How do we solve this?
You see, let me quickly mention the issue you mentioned about the National Youth Council of Nigeria, your involvement, and when you saw that things were not going the right way, you actually back out. That is what it means.
Well, just for the sake of the discussion, let's back out.
And that is actually one aspect we must look at. If you want to make a correction in an organization, you cannot make correction from outside.
But
you're a part of the organization.
But most of these things, they soak you in.
Because you are minority. I keep telling people, anything that has to do with democratic practice, first thing you must look at yourself. So when you find yourself there, begin to build like minds. So when you want to, challenge a position or a decision, you can have enough people to challenge such decision. But in a situation where you got to a place, you discover that you are different, and you know that you are the right kind of people to be here, and you back out, others will come, they will back out, others will come, there will never be change in that organization. But let me quickly react to politicians you mentioned. Well, it would be unfair for any politician to just come up, or anybody in the position of power to just come up and say young people are not ready. I will ask the person for that question. What do you mean by they are not ready? Not in the context of ready for leadership or all that. Because I can tell you, I will use myself as an example. I've been the legislative aide in the National Assembly for some years. When I was a legislative aide, I discovered that most things that have been done by some of the honorable members that I was close to are things I was given as an assignment to go and do. And when we finish, we submit it and then go and present. How many people knows who actually did this? No, how many people knows? So if you say young people already, those people saying that will be unfair. Because when you go to office of politicians today, or when you go to offices of political office holders, you see young, brilliant people working with them. And their results are what they are bringing out.
And we're not getting very good results. Or do you think we're getting
if you say we're not getting very good results, it depends on so many things. I keep telling people, there are three things that we need to actually check in Nigeria. We need to check leadership, we need to check system, we need to check citizenship. So when you check only leadership, without checking the system, you will not get results. The system itself allows some people to be handicapped, even when they want to do some things that are right. Why I'm not making excuses for those people? I will keep telling those people to put their head straight and keep making effort. But I want to say, the system must be addressed. There's some laid down system, especially the laws of the land. There are some laws that actually handicap executive from doing some things. That's why the young people must understand, political structures and your process and governance structure. There are some laws that affect a whole lot of things. And when you come to citizenship, I've always challenged Nigerian citizens. It's sad today for us to know that we dwell so much in talking about the role of leaders without mentioning the role of citizens. Meanwhile, the citizens control the leaders. And if the citizens know their rights and they know their responsibility and they know what to do at a particular time, the leaders will have to always be answerable to them.
A lot of people we differ with you. We challenge that statement that the people actually control their leaders.
Yes,
I do not think so, because the people only have their say. That's why there's this clamor for PVC. Yeah. Because the people think that they have their say or they control during elections.
Okay, I want you
to. So what other way can, because even to recall a senator from the house is not difficult. It's not easy.
It's
so how do you control the person that you have already?
Okay, this is the point. The issue of recall is a different ballgame, and that was one of the faults of the law that I mentioned earlier. The system provided by the lawmakers, who the system wants to recall, is so cumbersome that it takes a whole lot of effort to recall a senator or a House of Representatives.
That means you agree with me that the political office that you say the people control has already created a constitution that puts the people under the control.
Why the people control it? The lawmakers who made those laws difficult that way were elected there by the people. And the people has chance every 4 years to either send them back there or take them back home. That's
a very long time.
Well, it might look so long. 4 years might look like a very long time. But decision you could not make in this year, you could make in another 4 years instead of living with it for life.
But the problem that you create in 4 years, you spend the next 4 years controlling
but this is the point. I don't want to leave something out. It says that the people control the leaders. And this is the reasons. I mentioned earlier about how well people are informed about the system of governance. I will tell you this. When we say leaders are put into of short-term gain, when you look at voting, somebody will tell you if you vote today about policies and about politics and governance. You know why? A man with PVC, with poor knowledge, is like a man with a to represent their party. So the issue we're talking about, when you look at it holistically, you go to churches, you go to mosque, you hear pastors and imam discussing politics. And the thing that might shock you there is that they might actually be campaigning indirectly for the wrong candidates. So the people, elect the kind of leader they deserve. Someone has said that, and I think I agree with that.
Yes, I get you. But and I hope I know our viewers already get to the point that you're going. But I still want to buttress this point.
Please go ahead.
These ifs that you said, if the people, if the police, if the INEC officer, these are all Nigerians.
Yes.
And we are all suffering a particular problem. But getting this if, is it not a very big wish?
Well, it starts from us understanding our problems. When people feel that the problem is only the rigging of election, we can't solve it. If the people believe that the problem is only police, we can't solve it. There are many stakeholders in the electoral process, and they play their role at a particular point or the other. I have been part of elections in Nigeria where you are agents to a political party, and you see in your presence some agent of political party agrees to rigging at the polling units. So it is no longer the problem of those who voted. It is not the problem of those agents who allows rigging at the political, polling units. So if those people didn't allow rigging, rigging will have stopped at that level. Now, when they allow rigging, it takes up, jack up to the local government coalition center. People who are also agents there allow riggings. It flows. And when it goes to national, if the leader, the chairman of INEC or all of them has also been compromised, the rigging flows. The rigging is not end there. You saw somebody, you go to judiciary. If the judiciary allows, the wrong process to continue, the person flies. So when you look at the process that gets on leadership in Nigeria, there are many stakeholders. And I keep telling people, I don't want to forget, young people, participating in politics is not just about contesting an election. A lot of ways young people can participate in politics. Being an electorate is one. Being an agent is another. Being a political canvasser is another. Being a campaigner is another. Being a strategic, team for a politician is another. Getting a candidate, protecting a candidate is another. Being a media campaigner or a marketer rather, for a politician is another. So all of us cannot contest. If we contest, who then will do others? So, but we must identify these stages as young people and say, look, these are the stages, and that is the essence why we keep saying the young people need more information about politics and governance.
And we are going to take a very, very short break, and when we come back, we are going to look at solutions. Okay. We are going to start looking at solutions. We are going to start looking at strategies. And I think by you coming to the studio, we already know that youths that are watching now are getting ready. So if they were not ready before, they are getting ready now. So we're going to take this short break, and when we come back, we'll look at the solutions.
Right now in Nigeria is the fact that the Peace Corps of Nigeria has failed in its bid to become one of the paramilitary organizations in the country, as President Muhammadu Buhari refused to assent to the bill, and it had caused a lot of uproar, and a lot of people have taken different sides. In some news, it's been said some Nigerians have lost their lives because they totally and completely hoped that with the present assent on this bill, they would have a job. And that's not the case, and it has caused a lot of issues, and we're going to discuss to see the good, the bad, and ugly of the president's decision. For you, do you think the Peace Corps of Nigeria is a scam, as said by some people, knowing fully well that it's supposed to be a branch of an organization in the US, talking about peace angels, but right now they have decided to turn it the other way. The National Assembly also said when it came initially, it came like a non-governmental body organization. Then suddenly it turned into a military or paramilitary outfit overnight, using the Nigerian X factor to achieve that. So is the Peace Corps organization a scam?
Well, I think that's going to be a bit difficult to say either way. I mean, there are certain things that have been done that would qualify to be called
a
scam, or that would qualify to look like a scam.
Does it have the qualities?
Yes. But there are also other things that you would say does not qualify to be a scam. So first, I think we need to just get the facts straight. The first is that the Nigeria Peace Corps was established in Nigeria as an NGO, and it has a CAC registration, that the Corporate Affairs Commission registration. So it's already a registered and legal body. So in that context, you cannot call the organization itself a scam. But then what the organization does, or the people who run the organization, what they do, that's where you can begin to now scrutinize. Now, my suspicion is that those who established the Peace Corps did that, basing it, modeling it on the U.S. Peace Corps. The U.S. Peace Corps is an organization, is a government organization, it's a federal government organization that was created by federal legislation, Congress in the U.S. And its role really, it's like you want to do some interventions abroad in terms of peace and the rest of that. So it's really not so much of a security outfit. It is much more of a humanitarian and aid outfit, in the U.S. And then there are variants of it across the world. To establish an agency, that you are saying will play a security role. You are saying it's a paramilitary agency. You want it to play a security role, and then you say the reason you are establishing it is for employment. I mean, it doesn't really. It makes no sense. Now, so that said, there are also people who have then argued that Nigeria has security challenges. That the police is not doing. The police is overwhelmed, and that therefore you need additional security, apparatus. You need to farm up the security architecture in order for this to happen. There are those who have also said, well, in any case, this was also how the civil defense started before the legislation that turned it into this. And yes. So, but my worry with this is this, everywhere in the world, global jurisprudence, the policing takes care of internal security, and that's primarily the police force. Now, we have a very big problem as a country, and that problem is our elites, particularly the political elite, and then just following closely behind the economic elite. Now, why do I say this? We are a people that we take concepts that are meant to explain phenomena, to describe processes, and we turn them into things. So policing is a concept. So it's not the work. It's not the work that only the police does. Every agency that is established for internal security purpose is doing policing work. Okay, so that's policing. So when they come with all their statistics that is supposed to be 1 to 300, but in Nigeria is 1 to 600, one policeman to 600 people, you ask yourself, when they do that calculation, they are using the Nigerian police force, 330,000 people, but probably now about 360,000 since the new recruitment. But we are forgetting that there is the Federal Road Safety Corps. There is the vehicle inspection there is the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, which also has about 200,000. By the time you add all of this together, we are seriously really not under-policed. So the challenge is not about the figures and the numbers. The challenge is how do you properly equip what you have and effectively deploy what you have. Just look, let me give you an example of wastage. You are driving around the road. You are driving on the road on a 10-kilometer stretch of road, even within town, not even between towns, but within town on a 10-kilometer stretch of road. You see a road safety checkpoint. Another 100 meters, you see VIO. Another 100 meters, you see regular police. Another 100 meters, you see mobile police. Then you see the special, the SAS. And you see, on a 10-kilometer road, is that an effective way of utilizing, these internal security agencies? Then you are also on the road. You see somebody's convoy. Probably not even a public official. Somebody is driving in a very intimidating jeep. You find another Hilux behind it with about 12 policemen in the Hilux following the person, for one single person. And then you talk about being under police. I mean, you say Nigeria now has a ratio of 1 to 600, when only one person already has 60 out of the 600. It doesn't really make sense. So that's the challenge. The challenge is not creating new agencies.
Okay. The president made bold to say that the cost implications of paying this was one of the key reasons why he turned down assenting to the bill. Yeah. For you, looking at that issue and the fact that this Peace Corps, we know that they collected monies from these officers before they got, recruited.
Exactly.
How criminal is that?
Okay.
And now going forward to say, pay these people when you've done.
Absolutely. Okay, let's first take cost implications. Okay. Then we look at the criminal implications. Okay, so now the cost implications. Again, we're also a country where every time we have a problem, we must create something new to address the problem without thinking of where the cost is going to come from, how you are going to fund it, and the rest of that. Now, let us assume that we even want to buy the argument of creating more jobs. Let us assume we want to buy the argument of the fact that we don't have enough policing officers in the country, and then you need to recruit more. It is more cost effective to recruit more people into the existing police and the existing civil defense than to create an entirely new structure with its own bureaucracy. It's going to have headquarters in Abuja. It's going to have state headquarters commands, and then you are going to have a very huge bureaucracy, And then the second thing is I've said this to some colleagues and some friends, jokingly, but I'm also very
information you need for all-round development through its mind-blowing programs such as news, talk shows, health and safety, governance and politics, sport, entertainment, kiddies, documentaries, finance, global happenings, human disposition from childhood to adulthood. It's a manifestation of what you see, what you hear and say. Tune in and stay tuned to TVN, Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries. Information remains the bedrock in every stage of development. It develops both the human mind and the society at large. Television Nigerian is here to avail you with that information you need for all-round development through its mind-blowing programs such as news, talk shows, health and safety, governance and politics, sport, entertainment, kiddies, documentaries, finance, global happenings, human disposition from childhood to adulthood. It's a manifestation of what you see, what you hear and say. Tune in and stay tuned to TVN, Television Nigeria, broadcast beyond boundaries.